Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Dick Kollmar, starring in an episode of Boston-Blackie. And this episode goes back to June 18th, 1956. The story, The Hooded Gang Protective Racket.
All right, men, I'll tell you why we're meeting here. Why? And why we're all wearing masks.
I think we know, boss.
Yes? Perhaps you do, number one. You're wearing masks and are known to each other by number only because each one of you is wanted by the police for murder. You're all professional killers with a great deal of experience in the trade, and all the best in the business.
We hired to do some killing now, boss?
No, number 8, I hope killing won't be necessary. But if it is, well, I know all of you can be counted on for a good performance. The masks and the numbers will be worn only at these meetings because none of you know the identity of the others. And I think it wise that it remain that way.
Afraid we'll rat on each other, boss?
Men of this profession have been known to inform on their associates before. The masks and number preclude all temptation of that here. You're strangers to each other. Even though we will now all work together, you shall remain strangers.
You say we're going to work together. What's the racket?
I'll come to that in a moment. I first want to make clear just one more thing. You have not been hired by me to kill, but I hired you because you are killers. We want our clients to pay us for our services. We much prefer that. But in the event the client does not want to do business with us, well, you know what to do. Any questions?
Yeah. Why do we have to kill a guy who won't pay?
Are there any other questions?
And now, on to Dick Kollmar as Boston-Blackie. Enemy to those who make him an enemy. Friend to those who have no friend.
Good morning.
Hi. You Ernie Howard?
Yes?
Nice little candy shop you got here.
I like it.
That's good. Guess you'd like it to stay nice, wouldn't you?
Why, yes, Stay nice? What do you mean?
Look, I want $5,000 from you, or this candy shop ain't gonna be so sweet.
I don't understand.
$5,000. Understand that?
Yes?
I want it. You understand that?
Yes, but why do I have to... Oh, I think I understand everything now. Get out! Get out or I'll call the police.
Oh, now what good would that do you? I haven't done anything. Yet. But I am going to do something if I don't have that $5,000 by this time tomorrow morning.
You can't threaten me.
This has nothing to do with you, pal. It's your wife. We'll kill her.
My wife?
Yeah. Not you. Your wife. Nice little twist, isn't it, huh? Let me tell you something. In case you figure on having the cops here when I come to see you tomorrow. Sure, the cops will get me, but that won't save your wife.
Why not?
Because there's 6 other guys in this with me. 6 other guys who'll go after your wife if anything happens to me, see? And don't think the cops will make me rat on them, because I can't. See, I don't even know who these other guys are or what they look like.
You're lying.
You have a cop here tomorrow morning when I come back to see you, and you'll find out. So, Mac, unless you're tired of your wife, Don't go to the cops. Go to the bank.
After he left, I was afraid to go to the police, Blackie, but I thought it was all right to come to you.
It was a good idea to come to me, Howard. What time do you have to give this man the $5,000?
Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
All right. Give him the money.
But I don't have $5,000.
You don't? Well, I do. I'll give it to you.
Oh, thank you, Blackie. I'll pay you back every penny of it.
Oh, no, you won't. I'm not giving it to you. I'm just letting you have it to give to this man. If you'll cooperate with me, it may turn out to be the best $5,000 I ever invested.
I'll do anything you say, of course.
Good. All you have to do is to let me hide in the back of your store tomorrow when this man comes to see you. I want to get a look at him. He said he was a member of a gang?
Yes, but he doesn't know the others, and if you hide in my store, there'll be trouble.
Sure there will. Plenty of it. I'm starting a personal gang war. Me against that character and his pals.
Inspector Faraday, I'm Mrs. Ernie Howard.
Sit down, Mrs. Howard.
Oh, thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
You can do a lot, Inspector. This morning, a man came to my husband's candy shop and ordered him to pay him $5,000 or I would be killed.
What?
Yes, Inspector. That's exactly what the man said. My husband doesn't know it, but I was in the back of the store at the time, and I heard everything.
Well, I'm glad you did hear everything, Mrs. Howard. This guy probably told your husband not to go to the police, and so he's not coming to us, is he?
No, he isn't. And I don't know where he's going to get the $5,000. We don't have that much.
You don't need that much, Mrs. Howard. In fact, you don't need a cent. All you need is protection, and you've come to the right place for it. I'll see that you're safe and comfortable when I go to your husband's store tomorrow morning to make somebody else mighty uneasy.
Well, it's 10 minutes to 10, Howard.
No, Blackie, it's 5 minutes to 10.
That guy should show any minute now. Where can I hide and still see everything?
In the back room, Blackie. There's just a curtain for the door.
Good. Where's your wife?
Oh, Blackie, I suppose I should have phoned you and told you about it. When I got back from seeing you yesterday, I received a phone call from my wife. She's at her sister's in the country.
Well, that's a good place for her, right now especially. Uh-oh. Look who's here. Inspector Faraday.
Blackie, what are you doing here?
Minding my own business, Faraday, so why don't you get out of here and mind yours?
Because my business happens to be right here. You Ernie Howard?
Yes?
Your wife came to me yesterday afternoon with a story about an extortionist demanding $5,000 from her husband, or she'd be killed.
She came to you, but I thought...
Everything you thought is what I told her to make you think. I didn't want you to get excited and think the cops were going to interfere and endanger your wife's life. Now, we're going to... Say, it's 10 o'clock now.
Yes, and you'd better get out of here, Faraday.
Don't give me orders, Blackie. It's 10 o'clock, and you're here. Why?
Why? Because I have to...
Wait a minute. I think I know why. Don't move, Blackie.
Oh, Faraday, put away that gun. You know guns make you nervous.
Yeah? And shakedown guys make me sore. Keep your hands up. Have you already paid him, Howard? Or was he just trying to collect when I walked in?
Hey, Inspector Faraday,
I know. I'm wasting time. So I'll search him and find out for myself. I don't blame you for alibying him. You're probably scared stiff.
Faraday, sometimes, like now, you do the dumbest things.
Hold still. If I have to be dumb to catch you with something like this, so okay, I'm a moron.
You could be if you studied hard enough.
Yeah? Well, look what I just got out of your pocket. A nice fat roll of $100 bills. And just about fat enough to be $5,000.
And that head of yours is just about fat enough to keep me from getting any sense into it, isn't it? Listen, Faraday, there isn't time to explain. It's 2 minutes after 10, and that shakedown guy is going to be here any minute.
He's already here, Blackie. He's you. And he's leaving right now. With me.
Please, Inspector Faraday,
Don't worry about your wife, Howard. She's safe. And once this guy's in jail, she'll stay safe. Come on, Blackie.
All right. But let me get my briefcase off this counter.
Since when did you carry a briefcase?
I don't. It belongs to Howard here. But right now, it belongs on your hand.
Hey,
Get that gun out of it. Like that. Sorry. I've got to shut you up, Faraday. With my best pocket handkerchief. Hold me. Hold that cord on the counter, Howard. Quick, while I hold him.
Blackie, but you shouldn't do this. It'll mean trouble.
Yeah, I know it. But not as much trouble as if your friend walked in here and found a policeman. Here, he's tied up. Help me take him into the back room. Quick.
All right, I'll take his feet.
Good. Now let's carry him back behind the curtain. Quick.
All right. Easy there. Now, where do you want him?
On the floor here.
All right. There.
Good. Now, get out there in front. Your friend will be here any minute. I'll wait in here.
All right, but I just hope he doesn't.
Hey, wait a minute. You forgot something.
What is it now?
Oh, nothing important. Just the $5,000. Here, I just got it out of Faraday's pocket. Give it all to the man.
After I do that, what then?
My friend Mary Wesley is waiting outside in my car. After your friend leaves, I'm going to follow him.
Oh, I see. And then...
All right.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah. Good morning. How's everything?
Fine.
Yeah, fine, huh? Well, that's great. Got the money you owe me?
Yes, here it is.
Oh, good. I'll count it if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
1,000. 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2,000. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 4,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 5,000. Correct. Thank you. You're a smart guy to pay your debts. See you around.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Blackie, he's gone.
Yes, I got a good look at him, too. I'll see you later, Howard.
Hurry, Blackie, he's getting into a car.
And so am I in a minute. Let's go, Mary.
Okay. I saw a man come out of the candy store just now. Is that the one?
That's the one. He got into that tan coupe up there, and he's pulling away. Let's go after him.
Here we go. And let's hope he doesn't go through any red lights. I'd hate to have to break the law.
I'd like to catch up with him. I'd like to break his jaw.
He isn't driving terribly fast, Blackie.
Nobody realizes he's being followed. He brought us out into the country to try to shake us. Uh-oh, he's speeding up.
Well, we can do the same.
Careful, Mary. This road has a lot of nasty turns.
Yeah, I know, but I can go as fast as our friend in front of us.
Sure. We don't want to lose him. I've got to make him talk about that gang of his. And I'd rather lose him than our lives. Hey, he's coming to that bridge, and he's not going to make the turn. Mary, slow down.
I will. Oh, good heavens.
He's on the bridge.
Oh, too late.
Stop the car, Mary.
All right.
Come on. Let's go after him.
I'm right behind you.
Come on.
Whew. What a smasher. You can hardly tell that's a car.
And our friend is inside there, too.
Oh, look, Blackie, what's in the road here? It's a hotel key.
I'll take that. Only it probably means nothing. I can just get this door open. There. Whew. Good thing you're a nurse, Mary. This fellow needs...
A nurse?
No, an undertaker, Mary. He's dead. And so are we. He was our only clue to the extortion gang.
June 18th, 1946, Boston-Blackie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hey, gang, just a note to let you know that we've notified all of our radio stations that our final episode of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox will be broadcast on all of our radio stations on June 30th of 2023. It is not something of your radio station. It's not because you haven't been responsive. It's because my doctors have said I need to take time off, and I need to take a significant time off. I can no longer work 90 hours a week. It's just that simple. So to let you know, Listen to the shows. Enjoy the shows while you can. Go to our friend Ted at RadioMemories.com. He supplies a lot of shows. And go to our webpage at classicradio.stream and learn how you can build your own classic radio collection. But again, June 30th will end Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. While Dick Kollmar did some radio acting and did Broadway not only acting but producing there, he's probably best known for his morning show that he did in New York City on WOR. Yes, he did a morning show with a young lady by the name of Dorothy Kilgallen, columnist and panelist on What's My Line. In fact, Kollmar was occasionally not only on the panel, but he was a mystery guest from time to time. Boston-Blackie, starring Dick Kollmar, June 18th, 1946.
Now, back to Boston-Blackie. A gang of extortionists has demanded $5,000 from Ernie Howard, operator of a candy store. The gang threatens to kill Howard's wife unless he pays or if he goes to the police. So Howard goes to Blackie, who gives him the money. After a brief altercation with Faraday in Howard's store, Blackie waits until the money is paid and then follows the extortionist in his car. But in an attempt to escape, the gangster wrecks his car and is killed. As we return to our story, Blackie and Mary are driving back from the scene of the fatal accident.
It's too bad that man was killed, Blackie.
Too bad in more ways than one, Mary. He's not only dead, but we've lost our best lead to that gang of extortionists.
Can we find another lead?
I don't know. I hope so. Because until we do, this gang can go right on shaking down storekeepers and maybe killing them, too. You know, I think I'll try the key we found at the accident.
Do you think it's the key to the dead man's room?
Well, we found it just outside the wrecked car. There's a good chance that it's his. It says the Maxwell Hotel.
Where's that?
Down in the lower part of the city. Say, drive me down there, Mary, will you? Then go home and wait to hear from me. This key may open the door that may help me close this case. Mary, this is Blackie.
Oh, hello, Blackie. Find anything in that hotel room?
Plenty, Mary, plenty. In fact, I'm still here.
Why?
Waiting for a phone call.
Oh, darling, why a phone call?
Well, I just think there's going to be one after what I found here.
What have you found?
First of all, a mask and a number.
A mask?
Yeah. In fact, it's a hood. Covers the whole face except for 2 small holes for the eyes.
Well, what do you suppose that's for?
I don't know exactly. But Howard told me that none of the extortion gang knew each other. It could be they wear masks to their meetings.
Oh, I see. Well, you mentioned a number. At the meeting, they're known only by number?
Yes. And our dead friend was number 1.
Oh. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, number 1 made a collection today, $5,000. Unless he's the boss will either come here or phone here and arrange to get the money. So I'm going to wait here for that call.
Well, all right, Blackie, but be careful, darling.
Sure, I will. Oh, but look, do me a favor right away, will you?
Sure.
Phone Faraday and tell him about the accident out in the country.
Well, what if he's already found out about it?
Well, if he has, tell him not to release the name of the dead man until I say so.
Blackie, what are you up to?
Oh, nothing serious, Mary. Just an impersonation in case the boss calls. And I don't think even I could give a very good impersonation of a man the boss knows is dead.
Oh, I get it. And the boss will have no way of knowing number 1 is dead if the inspector doesn't release his name.
My, but you're smart. I heard enough of his voice to imitate it. I hope. Well, call Faraday right away, will you?
Oh, sure, right away. And then where can I reach you later?
Right here. Room 928, the Maxwell. Bye.
Bye.
Hello?
Hello? Carlton?
Yes.
This is me. You know who. You collect from Howard?
Yes?
Good. We're meeting tonight. Bring the money and don't forget to wear your mask.
All right. Where are we meeting? The same place?
Yes, same place.
Think that's smart?
Sure. Why not?
Howard may be yelping now. The heat may be on. Maybe somebody saw us at the old spot. I think we ought to meet at a new place.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It'd be safer.
Sure. Good idea. Where do you want to meet?
You're the boss, aren't you? You name it.
All right. We'll make it in the empty house at the crossroads of Cheever Lane. 9 o'clock. That's a long drive. You'd better leave right away. All right?
The empty house at the crossroads of Cheever Lane at 9 o'clock. I'll be there.
Faraday speaking.
Inspector Faraday, this is Mary Wesley.
You've got a nerve calling me, Miss Wesley, when your pal Blackie practically kidnapped me today.
Inspector, if he did, it was for your own good. And also, if you don't want Blackie killed, you'll have to do something for me.
I sure don't want Blackie killed. I want the pleasure of killing him myself.
Listen, Inspector Faraday. There was an auto accident on the Glenmore Road about 11 o'clock this morning. A man was killed.
So what?
So when you get the report, don't release the name of the dead man. Or Blackie will be one, too.
What are you talking about?
The dead man is a member of an extortion gang. And Blackie is trying to take his place so he can catch the head man. Now, if the leader knows that his man is dead, Blackie will be in trouble.
You tell Blackie to let the police handle things like this.
Too late, Inspector. Blackie may already have contacted the boss.
Oh, all right. I have to spend all my time getting that guy out of jams. I won't release the name, Miss Wesley.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Rollins! Rollins, come in here.
Yes, Inspector?
Rollins, phone the accident bureau and tell them not to release the name of the man killed in that wreck on the Glenmore Road.
Huh? The accident bureau called here over an hour ago, Inspector, and we released the name to the papers right away.
What?
Well, that's what we always do, Inspector.
I know, but we don't always have Boston Blackie to worry about. Get Mary Wesley on the phone, quick, and get me a squad car right away.
June 18th, 1946, Boston Blackie here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these important messages from your favorite radio station. Just going to take a minute here to tell you about the big savings going on now, the clearance sale at mypillow.com. And you know, I've talked about how in my office I have a pair of my slippers, and they're really comfortable, and they're on clearance right now. The mypillow.com slippers, $25 a pair, limit 10. And I would buy 3 or 4 more pairs. Unfortunately, they're out of my size. They also have sheets, pillowcases, clothing items, all on special right now. Go to mypillow.com, click on the clearance tab at the top of the page, use my promo code Wyatt, or call 1-800-928-4715. Limited sizes remaining in the MyPillow slippers, limited colors on other items. mypillow.com, clearance tab, promo code Wyatt, 1-800-928-4715. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, now the conclusion of Boston Blackie, June 18th, 1946.
Hop in, Miss Wesley. Did you get hold of Blackie?
No, Inspector Faraday. I phoned the Maxwell Hotel as soon as I got your call, but the room didn't answer.
Oh, that's bad. Maxwell Hotel, Rollins. We'll try to pick up Blackie's trail from there. Now turn on that siren.
Yes, sir.
All right, men, quiet. Quiet. We're meeting in a new place tonight, thanks to the brilliant judgment of number 1. He feels that perhaps our former meeting place might have been spotted. We wouldn't want that.
We make a big haul with our collections, boss.
We'll go into that in a moment, number 5.
Well, I got 10,000. 2 stops, 2 collections.
All of the men got at least that much. We're doing quite well, number 5.
Hey, look, boss, do we always got to wear these masks at these meetings? This is a good setup, only it's creepy.
Oh? You think we ought to wear masks, don't you, number 1?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want one of our weaker members in a weaker moment to turn us over to the police, would you, number 1?
No?
What's the matter with you, number 1? You haven't much to say, and your tongue is usually rather glib.
I don't have much to say.
Why not?
I listen better than I talk.
So it seems. We were more than an hour late in getting this meeting started. You seem to prefer to listen at all that time. What are you listening for, number one?
Nothing. Just listening.
Oh, you must be listening for something.
No, only to hear what you have to say.
You're sure you can hear well?
Yeah.
Sure you feel well?
Why, yeah.
That's amazing, number one. I expected you to be at least a little bit shaken up.
Shaken up? By what?
That accident.
Accident?
Yes. The one in which you were killed.
Killed?
Yes. How does it feel to be dead?
There must be some mistake.
There's no mistake. I heard it on the radio. This meeting was delayed while I went to the morgue to identify your body. I was quite certain you were in no condition to attend this meeting.
Hey, look, boss, if number one is dead, who's this guy?
This guy, number 5, is the one who talked to me over the phone as number 1 several hours after number 1 was dead. I have a rather strong suspicion he's Boston-blackie.
Boston-blackie, yeah.
But, Boston-blackie or not, he's an imposter. And what do you think we ought to do with imposters? Don't reach for your gun, Blackie. Mine is already in my hand.
So I see.
Good. I asked you a moment ago how it felt to be dead, and you didn't know.
No, I didn't, but I suppose maybe I'm going to in a moment.
Yes, but suppose you take off your mask. I'd like to see whom I'm going to kill.
All right. Fair.
It is Boston-blackie.
Oh, thanks for the flattery, number 5. I didn't know my face was so well known.
Hey, boss, this guy knows about us. Maybe the cops know, too.
I don't think so. Boston-blackie doesn't work with the police. They didn't follow you yet, did they, Blackie?
I wouldn't know.
Would you know? You don't have a chance to survive the next 60 seconds.
You're, going to kill me here?
Here. Why not?
No particular reason. I simply imagined that I would die in much more pleasant surroundings.
Turn around.
What for?
Turn around. You're the kind who ought to be shot in the back. Don't reach for your gun, on!
Hey, it's the cops!
The police!
Beat it!
Okay, Blackie! But you still get it!
Your aim is bad when you're excited.
All right, everybody, stand where you are. Stand where you are.
Hello, Faraday.
Come on, Blackie. You all right?
I'm not only all right, I'm amazed. How did you find me here?
That was easy. Just a little smart investigating, that's all. All right, men, get these guys out of here. I don't want to see them again till they're in the lineup without their masks.
Blackie! Oh, Inspector Faraday, I heard shots. Where's Blackie?
Here I am, Mary.
Oh.
And not a scratch on me.
Oh, Blackie, that taxi driver was telling the truth then.
What taxi driver?
Oh, never mind what taxi driver. Let's get out of here.
Oh, I get it now, Faraday. It was a little smart investigating that found me, huh? Why, any 2-year-old could check with the cabs at the stand at the Hotel Maxwell and find out I'd been brought here.
Okay, but does it matter how I found you? I found you, and that's what counts.
You don't know how that does count, Faraday. Next time there's a party in your honor, count me in, because you're the only reason our hooded friends didn't count me out.
June 18th, 1946, Boston-blackie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox seems like one of the motion picture theaters in Pine Ridge, Arkansas may be shut down. This episode of Lum and Abner, made possible by Ted over at RadioMemories.com with his full restoration of the show, was originally broadcast June 18th, 1935.
Here we are, all ready to take you down to Pine Ridge for another visit with Lum and Abner. Brought to you by the makers of Horlicks, the original malted milk. And now, let's see what's happening down in Pine Ridge. Well, yesterday, Lum and Abner discovered an old ordinance passed in the early days prohibiting the operation of a theatrical entertainment on the second floor of any building in Pine Ridge because of the fire hazard. As Squire Skimp's hippodrome is on the second floor, this affords the old fellows an opportunity to eliminate the competition that has been paralyzing business for the Pine Ridge Planetarium. As we look in on Pine Ridge today, we find Grandpappy Spears over at the Jot 'em Down store seeking legal recourse after having been discharged by Squire Skimp. Lum not being present, Grandpap is telling his troubles to Abner. Listen.
Well, Grandpap, I thought you had a contract with Squire guaranteeing you 3 months' work.
Well, I thought I did too, Abner. I sure never would have quit you fellers. That's what I wanted to see Lum about.
You mean see him about getting a job?
Well, no, not exactly that. I want him to look at this contract, and I don't know nothing about legal matters, but Squire claims this contract ain't binding to nobody but me.
Yeah, I know. That's what he told us yesterday. And Lum looked it up in his law books to see if he couldn't find some way to make him pay you anyway, but I don't know what he ever done about it.
Well, it's just got me worried to death. It couldn't have happened at a worse time. I don't know what me and Charity's going to do. I've fooled around now till it's too late to put in a crop this year.
Yeah. Well, you ought not to ever left us over here, Grandpap. We wouldn't have paid you as much as he did, but you'd have had steady work.
Well, Squire got me off and told me this big story, telling me how much more money I'd make if I joined up with him, and I never had no better sense than to listen to him.
Yeah, well, you ought to know by now that a body can't put no dependence in nothing that Squire says.
Oh, I found that out. There's Cedric Weehunt, too. Promised him $10 a week if he'd quit you fellers and go to work for him.
Yeah, I just don't see how he pays any such wages as that.
Well, he ain't a-paying them. Cedric's getting $2.50 a week. Squire cut his wages down after he started to work for him.
Well, we was a-paying him $3 a week. Looks like he'd quit Squire.
Why, he's afraid to. He'd love to go back to work for you fellers, but he's scared to quit Squire, feared you fellers won't hire him now after quitting the way he did.
Well, I do know. Well, I thought there was something wrong about these big wages that Squire was paying.
I just hope you fellers run him clean out of business. That's what I hope.
Well, just betwixt me and you, Grandpap, now don't breathe this to a soul. But me and Lum's got a way studied up now to close that place of his up tighter than a pair of new shoes.
Well, I don't know, Abner. I hope you do, but I got my doubts about it. I'm feared he's too slick for you and Lum.
Well, he won't be slick enough to get out of this, though. Now, don't you tell this, but now me and Lum found out that he's violating the law every time he opens them doors over there.
Violating the law?
Yes, sir.
Well, it ain't again the law to run a picture show, is it?
Well, it is the way he's running his'n.
Well.
Yes, sir. Lum found an old ordinance here in the statute yesterday. It's passed in Pine Ridge in 1907, where it says that it's against the law to have a theater upstairs that way.
It is?
Yes, sir. And Lum's going to get out the papers, and I'm going to serve him on him. Just close this place right up tonight.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
You ain't lost a thing by getting fired, Grandpap, or you'd be out of work anyway.
Well, I never knowed we had a law like that in Pine Ridge.
No, well, we never neither. Nobody does, I don't reckon. But she's sure there. And there ain't another building in town that he can get. I know he can't afford to build one.
Well, that's the best news I've heard, and I don't know when won't Squire's eyes bug out when he hears about that.
He's going to be mad enough to buy it.
Well, it's good enough for him, too.
Yeah. Why, sure, we had the first idea to put in a show, and just 'cause we wouldn't sell him a third interest in ours, why, he just opened that up for spite.
Yeah, I feel ashamed of myself quitting you fellers and going to work for him, that way.
Well, we never blamed you, Grandpap. He offered you more money, and we're glad to see you get it. Glad to see you get all you could.
Well, that's nice of you to feel that way about it, Abner. I sort of hesitated about coming over here today. I never know just how you felt.
Here comes Lum now, Grandpap. He can look that contract over for you.
Yeah. You're sure he ain't mad at me about quitting y'all?
Why, no. You ought to heard him here yesterday when Squire said he'd let you go. You'd have thought he'd been fired. Now, wait a minute. Hey, Lum, look who's here.
Well, I do know. How are you, Grandpap? Oh, just only tolerably, Lum. How's yourself? Oh, I ain't got no complaints to make, I reckon. I heard yesterday a Squire let you go over there.
Yeah, Grandpap brung that contract along, Lum. Want you to look it over for him.
Yeah, Squire says ain't nothing in here to keep him from letting me go anytime he wants to. Well, I'll be glad to read it and give you my opinions on it.
Yeah.
There it is. See if there's any way I can make him pay me for the 3 months' work anyway.
Well, now, Lum can tell by looking at it. I'll guarantee you that.
Well, I don't like to cast compliments right in my own face, but I will admit I do know legal matters if I do say so myself.
I'll say he does. You just ought to hear him read out of one of them big law books, Grandpap. He can say might nigh all them big words that's in there.
Oh, well, ain't nothing to that, Abner. A body gets used to them legal terms that way. It's just like saying little bitty words.
I don't see how he does it.
Agreement. Party of the first part, M.K. Skimp does
And
hereby.
you just ought to hear him when he goes to talking law matters with somebody. He
Party
uses so
second
many big
part.
words that they don't know what he's talking about half the time.
Well, I do know.
That's right. I'd just give anything if I could talk that way. Now, he can read that thing over. He's got there in his hand and tell you just what it means. I get mixed up and party to the first part and all that stuff.
Yeah? Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, look at the way he squints his eyes up that way. He's a thinking right hard when he does that. He learned that from a county judge in there at Mena. He squints his one up too.
Why, party of the first part, Milford Spear, Grandpap, was there any witnesses present when you signed this document? You mean...
Was there anybody with you is what he's talking about, Grandpap? I know I've heard him say that before.
Why, yeah, my nephew Luke was standing there, but he's went out to Oklahoma to visit some of his wife's relations now. Mm-hmm. Witnesses has dispersed then.
See there?
I reckon we'll have to get out some of them irrigation papers and bring 'em back over in this state.
That's the wonderfulest thing I ever heard in my life.
I don't know whose jurisdiction this would come under, and it'd be unethical for me to say that the defendant is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but as your retainer, quo vadis, I'd say the hypotheses of the case indicates that that the party of the first part could be held responsible, and the party of the second party can levy on his resources and collaterals.
For the land's sake.
Come over that again, Lum. I don't believe I'm following you.
Yeah, I think I sort of jumped the track there too, Lum.
Well, the whole thing boiled down is that whilst this instrument is binding to the party of the second part, the first party can waive liabilities on the ground of, on the ground of corpus delicto, e pluribus unum, etc., and so forth.
Yes, sir, I'd give anything in the world if I could talk like that to where nobody couldn't understand what I was saying.
Well, what I wanted to know, though, Lum, you excuse me for saying so, but what I wanted to know, can I make Squire pay me for that 3 months' work? Well, now, there's something I couldn't tell you, Grandpap. This contract don't say about that one way or the other. Well, I wish there's some way I could get even with him.
Well, I told you, Grandpap, me and Lum's going to get even with him. Dogged, we'll have that place of his closed up by 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, it just reminds me, too, I better draw up them papers so you can take 'em over there and serve 'em on him, Abner.
Oh, ain't you got them fixed up yet?
No, I'll just do that right now. Let me sit down there at the desk.
Yeah, sure. Dogged, he'd have told
I
me.
can find one of them warrants.
Well,
There ought to be some around here somewhere.
I don't believe that you got none, Lum. Ain't no use to look there. Don't you know you was looking for one a while back when Sister Simpson wanted to get out a warrant for Caleb Weehunt for letting his stock run loose. Recollect, we looked all over the place for one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's all it saved, Caleb, too.
Yeah.
Let's see, I might could use one of these hunting licenses. That's got a lot of legal words in it. You can just read it to Squire. You don't have to let him see it or nothing.
Well, I don't know where I can speak all them big words or not, Lum.
Well, just tell him he's arrested for running a picture show on the second floor of a building. Wait a minute. Here's a search warrant for him.
Oh.
No, that won't do. Ain't no use to search his place over there. We know what he's got in there.
Well, what's wrong with the hunting license blank?
Well, I'm looking at it again. If I fill that thing out, Abner, we'd have him arrested for hunting on the second floor of a building.
Yeah, that ain't against the law, huh?
Well, I don't know where it is or not, but that ain't what he's done. He's running a picture show over there. That's what we want to charge him with.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just write it out on a piece of paper, Lum? It don't have to be on no regular warrant, does it?
No, might could do that. Hand me that writing tablet over there.
No, yeah. Here. And I'll make it just as strong as you can. Doggy, this is one warrant that I'm just busting the starve. I want to read it right in old Squire's face.
Yeah, I want to go along with you, Abner.
Oh, me, if he ain't going to be mad when he hears that thing.
Now, let's see. A warrant for arrest. Me and you's going to have to be the complaining witnesses, Abner.
Well, good.
I, Lum Edwards, and Abner Peabody. I'll just scratch this off rough now. Charge M.K. Skimp with violating ordinance. Wait a minute. That ain't gonna look right.
You mean that kind of paper ain't gonna work?
No, it ain't that. I just don't like the idea of me and you bringing these charges again him. Yeah, it's again the law, ain't it, Lum? Well, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like we're just using the law to fight competition with. If me and you wasn't in the picture show business ourselves, Abner, we wouldn't even think of doing such a thing as this. It's just a old law that ought to been took off the record years ago.
Well, it's still the law, Lum.
Yeah, but I don't like to take advantage of my office this way. I never could feel right about it. No, let's just tear it up and forget about it. I just won't do it.
Well, I'll be dad blame. After all, Squire Skimp's done to us, and here you are getting chicken-hearted when we've got a chance to close that place of his up and get shut of it.
Well, here now, if that's against the law, I want to see that place closed up. I'll bring the charges against him myself. As a citizen of Pine Ridge, I demand that you make out a warrant for his arrest, Lum.
Yeah, that's a time, Grandpap. Now, you've got to do it, Lum. You're the justice of the peace, and Grandpap's got his rights.
Grandpap is one citizen that demands that the law be carried out to the letter. Ladies and gentlemen, before we leave the old fellows for the night, listen to what one of their friends says. Quote, "Don't know just how to say it, but your programs sure mean a lot to us. We are constant users of Horlick's malted milk and have lately started using your tablets. My husband works in a shop and finds them a great help in pepping him up. And also, they stop his craving for a smoke, as he cannot smoke while working. I guess you didn't know that point about them." End of quote. Well, as a matter of fact, we did know how useful Horlick's tablets are for smokers. We have received many letters similar to that one from smokers who, unable to smoke at work, find Horlick's tablets great for filling in. If for any reason you can't smoke during the day, carry a flask of Horlick's tablets along. They're just the thing to relieve that craving you probably get. Your druggist has them in 10-cent and larger-sized flasks. This is Carlton Brickert, speaking for Lum and Abner and Horlick's, who now bid you all good night and good health.
June 18th, 1935, Lum and Abner on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And talking about the malted milk tablets makes me think I'll go get some Whoppers. You remember the malted milk balls? They're still out there. I'll get some of those for me. You don't have to let me tell you Whopper. You can go to our webpage, see everything there at classicradio.stream. You can find where our shows are available via podcast. You can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find our social media links, and you can also buy me a coffee, like Karen has so many times. That buy me a coffee money goes to help us acquire additional classic radio collections and helps us maintain our distribution channels, so we can come to you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. Please thank this station, support their advertisers, and tell your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.